How's it going, everybody? Glenn with Hammer Down Ministries coming at you here. I'm trying to grab a piece of paper. I'm just sitting here today doing my 34-hour restart. For you guys that are truck drivers, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, maybe I'll explain that in another video. But I have my guitar with me. I always take my guitar along. I like to play along with songs. I'm not much of a singer. I just got a text message from my wife. Actually, I was just looking at it. She's got a sister that's a few years younger than her that's actually on hospice. She's mentally disabled. And all that stuff got me thinking, about life's problems and everything. And I happened to find this napkin. Fell out of my Bible today, just a little while ago. And it was something that I wrote down. I don't know, it was late 2018, early 2019. We were going through some difficulties then, kind of like we are right now. But this is what God told me, or what he spoke to me, or what he was speaking into my heart anyway. He fights our battles. He will not be defeated. We need to get out of his way and let him lead us through every trial, every temptation, every whim of the flesh that wants us to follow the world, which is headed for destruction. But if we follow his lead, we will be free to be slaves of righteousness, and not of evil. He will keep us on a narrow path to everlasting life and joy unending. For he is the lion, strong and unafraid in the face of evil, and the lamb sacrificed, and the shepherd gently guiding us in his perfect love that casts out all fears and apprehensions. So let go and let him lead you today and forever. For he will not abandon you in your deepest despair. He'll lift you up on wings like eagles to soar above life's pitfalls. And that's a great thing to do. Remember that, he's there for you. You just got to talk to him. You just got to ask him. So I was looking through the Bible here and I came across Psalm 31. The Lord, a fortress in adversity. And this whole psalm is David crying out about his problems and the things that are going on in his life, but it could apply to you and me very easily. So again, this is Psalm 31, of the Lord, a fortress in adversity. And it starts here in verse 1. In you, O Lord, I put my trust. Never let me be ashamed. Wait a minute, back up. I said that wrong. In you, O Lord, I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in your righteousness. Bow down your ear to me. Deliver me speedily. Be my rock of refuge and a fortress of defense to save me. For you are my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for your name's sake, lead me and guide me. Ask God to lead you and guide you. No matter what you're going through, he's going to be there for you, because you need that. If you're in a tough situation, regardless of whether it's a health issue, a financial issue, a job issue, personal issue, whatever it is, you need God to guide you, to give you the wisdom to do the right thing. And if you do this and you ask him like this, he'll come to you and he'll help you. And we move on down here to verse 9. Have mercy on me, O Lord, for I am in trouble. My eye wastes away with grief, yes, my soul and my body. For my life is spent with grief, and my years with sighing. My strength fails because of my iniquity, and my bones waste away. Anytime you're going through these kind of things where you're in despair and you're crying out to God, make sure he understands how you feel. And that's what David's doing here. I'm like a broken vessel, for I hear the slander of many. Fear is on every side. While they take counsel together against me, they scheme to take away my life. But as for me, verse 14, I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hand. Deliver me from the hand of my enemies and from those who persecute me. Make your face shine upon your servant. Save me for your mercy's sake. Do not let me be ashamed, O Lord, for I have called upon you. Let the wicked be ashamed. Let the sickness be ashamed. Let all the afflictions that are in my life be ashamed. Let my financial troubles be ashamed, Lord. Don't let them have control over me. Do not let me be ashamed, O Lord, for I have called upon you. Let the wicked be ashamed. Let them be silent in the grave. Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak insolent things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. We hear this every day. If you're a follower of Jesus, people are going to say things about you that aren't true, because the world hates the Lord. The world hates God. They hate Jesus even more. That's why they use Jesus' name as a curse word, and that's why it's such a contentious subject as a Christian. When you start bringing it up, people get very upset. They say there's two things you should never talk about in a conversation: politics and religion. We're not talking about religion. What they don't want to hear about, they'll listen about religion all day long. They'll listen about Catholicism, Mormonism. They'll listen to you about Jehovah's Witnesses. They'll listen to you even about the Muslim faith, but they will not hear you talk about Jesus, because the minute you mention his name, that's when their hackles are raised, right? And it doesn't matter what kind of situation you're in. You could be having health problems, and the minute you start mentioning Jesus, that's when things seem like they're going to get worse, but they don't. Jesus is there. He's going to help you. And remember this in verse 19 here. Oh, how great is your goodness, which you have laid up for those who fear you, which you have prepared for those who trust in you in the presence of the sons of men. That's awesome. If we fear God and we have a love for him and an understanding, he will be there to save us. Blessed be the Lord, for he has shown me his marvelous kindness. And for I said in my haste, I am cut off from before your eyes. Nevertheless, you heard the voice of my supplications when I cried out to you. Oh, love the Lord, all you his saints, for the Lord preserves the faithful and fully repays the proud person. Be of good courage, he shall strengthen your heart, and you who hope in the Lord. Remember that last verse there, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, and you who hope in the Lord. Remember that. He'll give you the strength. If all your hope and faith and trust is in him, he's going to give you that. He'll give you that strength that you need. And remember this, what's the worst that can happen? You come out on the other side, you're with Jesus. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And then we can move on here just right now. A lot of people misquote this verse, and they use it incorrectly. But then let's read the whole verse though, in Romans 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good. That's where most people stop. Let's move on to the rest of this, what it really says. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God and to those who are the called according to his purpose. Verse 29, for whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he predestined, these he also called. Whom he called, these he also justified. And whom he justified, these he also glorified. That's what God's going to do with you as a Christian. He knew you were going to come to Christ. He knew all along you were going to do this. So trust in that. Lean on him. Put your faith and trust in him. What then shall we say to these things that are against us? I'm adding a little bit to this. Forgive me, Father. I'm not trying to change your word, but I want people to understand. Let's go down to verse 31. What then shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? If we have troubles and we go to him and we trust and have complete trust and faith in Jesus, like we would if we put a parachute on, jumping out of an airplane, you're going to have all the trust and faith in that parachute. If you didn't have trust and faith in it, you wouldn't jump out of the plane. You'd ride the plane to the end, right? All the way to the crash site, right? We put on that parachute, we jump out of that plane, we're putting every bit of trust into that parachute. Put that same trust in Jesus, the same trust you put in people driving safely around you, the same trust you put in an elevator when you push the button to go down from the 30th floor down to the basement, that it'll take you down nice and easy rather than just plummet you straight to your death. Jesus is there just like that. Put that same faith and trust in him, and he'll save you and he'll get you through these tough times. Drivers, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been through some very, very tough times. And I think as truck drivers, we all see times a little tougher than the average person does, because we're not at home to be there with our family when they're going through these things. Or a lot of times we're going through stuff that we keep to ourselves, that we're doing all on our own. We don't have to. You don't have to do that. Go to Jesus. Give it to him. Hand it over to him. Say, Jesus, I can't do this on my own. I need you to help me fight my battles. And he will. He'll step in and he'll take over and he'll do what you need to do. or what he needs to do to get you through this. And like I said, what is the worst thing that can happen? We die and we go be with Jesus. Like the Apostle Paul, to live as Christ and to die as gain. So, death is not a bad thing. We're not afraid of death as Christians. So keep the faith, everybody. God bless you all. Remember, let Jesus fight your battles, and we'll catch you again. See ya.